Hello students, today in our 11th physics class, nature of physical world and measurement is the topic, and this is our episode number 8. With this episode we come to the end of this first lesson. Very big lesson, isn't it? Yeah. Today we are going to see very important topics. They are dimensions of physical quantities, dimensional formula and equation, principle of homogeneity of dimensions, application and limitations of the dimensional analysis. Let's move to the topic. Now, dimension of physical quantities. What are the dimension of physical quantities? The base quantities are known as dimension of physical quantities. Okay, and usually this dimension of physical quantities are denoted by a square bracket. See, this is a square bracket. There are three dimensions in mechanics. First one is length, second one is mass, and the third one is time. These are the main and basic dimensions in mechanics. Then in electricity, A, okay, ampere, it represents the ampere, which is the dimension of electric current. And in thermodynamics, K, which represents the Kelvin, is the dimension for the temperature. We used to measure temperature used by Kelvin, and we used to measure current by ampere. And in optics, CD, candela, or pi is the dimension for luminous intensity. The dimension of amount of substance is mole. These are the dimensions of physical quantities. Now, what do you mean by this dimension of physical quantities? Let me explain what do you mean by this dimension of physical quantities. The dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers to which the units of base quantities are raised to represent a derived unit of that quantity. These are the base quantities which are raised to represent a derived unit of. If we go further, you will understand this easily. First one, for example, velocity is equal to displacement by time, that you all know from the lower classes. And can any one of you tell me what do you mean by this displacement? Yeah, displacement is equal to distance by time taken. Okay, and any one of you about the acceleration? Velocity by time. Okay, now let's move to the example. Displacement represents the length L, and the time represents the number t, that is L by t. Here, if you take this t in the upper side, then you have to put the minus 1, Lt minus 1. Here, m is equal to 0. During the velocity, mass is not measured and it's not needed, but we have to put as a dimensional value, we have to put 0. That means mass is represented, but it's not does not have any value, so we put 0 here, but L into t minus 1. Hence the dimension of velocity are 0 in mass, 1 in length, and minus 1 in time. Now dimensional formula and equation. Dimensional formula is an expression which shows how and which of the fundamental units are required to represent the unit of physical quantity. Here, for acceleration, m 0 and Lt minus 2 is the dimensional formula for acceleration. I know you all know the dimensional formula for acceleration, velocity and everything, because I explained you in the third video. Now, when the dimensional formula of a physical quantity is expressed in the form of an equation, Such an equation is called dimensional equation. Now dimensional quantities and dimensionless quantities. What are the dimensional quantities and dimensionless quantities? Dimensional variables. See, first one we have to explain the dimensional variables. Physical quantities which possess dimensions and have variable values are called dimensional variables. For example, length, velocity and acceleration are dimensional variables. And dimensionless variables, there are something which are dimensionless variables. Physical quantities which have no dimensions but have variable values are called dimensionless variables. For example, specific gravity, strain, refractive index are dimensionless variables. And dimensional constant, physical quantities which possess dimension and have constant value. These dimensional constants have a constant value are called dimensional constants. Gravitational constants, Planck's constant are called dimensional constant. And the last one, dimensionless constant. Quantities which have constant values and also have no dimensions are called dimensionless constants. Pi, E and the numbers are the example for dimensionless constants. Principle of homogeneity of dimensions. What do you mean by this principle of homogeneity? See, principle of homogeneity of dimensions, it states that the dimensions of all the terms in a physical expression should be same. Okay, that's very important. The dimensions of all the terms in a physical expression should be same. That means the left hand side should be equal to the right hand side. V square is equal to u square plus 2as. Then only the equation or expression will be right. Here the dimensions of v square and u square and 2as are same and equal to l square t minus 2. Application and limitations of the method of dimensional analysis. There are lot of limitations and lot of applications to the dimensional analysis. As you know, each and every principles have their own limitations and their own applications. Here the homogeneity of dimensions are also based on the limitations and applications. Now this method is used to convert the physical quantity from one system of unit to another. That means CGS system to SI system or SI system to CGS system. This method is used to check the dimensional correctness of a given physical equation. See, you can check the correctness of this equation using the dimensional analysis method. Last one, establish relations among various physical quantities. Using this, we can establish a relationship between the initial velocity and the final velocity, the acceleration and so on. Okay, now let's move to the applications of dimensional analysis. To convert a physical quantity from one system of unit to another. This is based on the fact that the product of the numerical value n and its corresponding unit u is a constant. We are going to prove that n u is equal to constant. See, nu is equal to constant, or n1 u1 is equal to n2 into u2. Consider a physical quantity which has a dimension a in mass and b in length and c in time. So if the fundamental units in one system are m1, l1 and t1 and the other system are m2, l2 and t2. Now here consider that m1, l1, t1 is as CGS system and m2, l2, t2 as SI system. Okay, so Then we can write n1, that means number m1a, l1b, t1c is equal to n2 into m2a, l2b and t2c. Thus, we converted the numerical value of physical quantity from one system of unit into another. Now, the second application. To check the dimensional correctness of a given physical equation. Okay, this is the given physical equation. Let us take the equation of motion. This is the equation of motion. We are going to study about the equation of motion in the second lesson. As you know, this is velocity and this is final velocity. This is initial velocity and this is A represents acceleration and T represents time. Now apply dimensional formula on both sides. And as you know, the dimensional formula for velocity is Lt minus 1, which is equal to the dimensional value for initial velocity. It's also Lt minus 1 plus A acceleration Lt minus 2. If you want to know, refer your books. And the T represents the capital T represents the time. Now, if you equate this, okay, if you equate this, that means if you minus 1 T from here, then you will get Lt minus 1 on the left hand side and Lt minus 1 plus Lt minus 1 on the right hand side. So the quantities of same dimensions only can be added. We see that the dimensions of two sides are same, means the equation is dimensionally correct. The third and last application. This is used to establish the relation among various physical quantities. See, if the physical quantity Q depends upon the quantities Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q is proportional to Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay, then Q is proportional to Q1A, Q2B and Q3C. We can add a constant here. We named it as a dimensionless constant to equate the left and right hand sides. Q is equal to K into Q1A, Q2B and Q3C. When the dimensional formula for Q1, Q2, Q3 are substituted, then according to the principle of homogeneity, the powers of M, L, T are made equal on both sides of the equation. From this, we get the value of A, B and I think you all have a good understanding in the previous sections slides. Now let's move to the limitations of dimensional analysis. First one, this method gives no information about the dimensionless constants in the formula, that means 1, 2, pi, e, etc. Second one, this method cannot decide whether the given quantity is scalar or vector. Why it's very important to know whether it's a scalar or vector in an equation? Can any one of you tell me? Because we need the direction of a quantity, physical quantity. That's why it has to be mentioned. The third one, this method is not suitable to derive relations involving trigonometrical, exponential and logarithmic functions. Fourth one, it cannot be applied to an equation involving more than 3 physical quantities. Mass, length, time can be evolved, and if we add ampere or Tesla or any other thing, or mole or any other thing, then the equation become invalid. Fifth one, it can only check whether a physical relation is dimensionally correct but not the correctness of the relation. Because for example, using a dimensional analysis, S is equal to ut plus 1 by 3 at square is the dimensionally correct, but we use only S is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. Okay, the physical relation is dimensionally correct, but the correctness, it is not the correctness of the relation. Thank you, students. Thank you. See you in the second lesson episodes.